Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. And Australia have won the second Test match, day five, going into the third session. I got it kind of wrong. I knew that Australia would win. I mean, I predicted Australia would win, but I thought it would be done in the first session. To be honest with you, maximum, the beginning of the second session. But England took Australia till the third session, and it was Jai Richardson picking up 5 wickets, finally put the nail in the coffin and gave Australia a two-zip lead in this Ashes series. England fought well in this on this particular day, but I think they didn't sustain this kind of intensity for the 5 days, and that led them to losing this Test match. If you saw Joss Butler, he was outstanding today. Like, he's shown that he has many facets to his game. Whether it's scoring 150 balls or facing 200 deliveries for just 26 runs. He faced 207 deliveries for 26 runs, strike rate of 12.56. He's shown that he has the patience. He has the skill in the Test arena as well. He has a good defense. He can leave the ball. And honestly, respect for him has grown a bit more after this innings. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Chris Woke gave him some support. He batted magnificently well as well. 44 runs of 97, scored more runs than Butler, even though he faced less balls. And then Robinson and Broads facing 30 odd balls each as well. So he got some support, but unfortunately, the top order didn't perform for England, particularly in this innings. The likes of Joe Root, Hasib Hamid, Rory Burns, Malan, no one like really settling in there and scoring a big knock, and that's what you wanted. I think if someone like a Root got 100 in this kind of innings, then England could have drawn this Test match, and who knows what would have happened. But what happened on day five, I just felt that England kind of it was bound to happen. They were going to lose. They exceeded my expectations a bit in terms of they took the third session, but overall, it's been a poor Test match for them. It's been a poor tour. It's been a poor series so far for them. And yeah, hopefully they do improve. And I hope that for the sake of the series, that they come back fighting and win the next Test match, or at least compete against Australia, because right now Australia are walking all over them. Australia brilliant with the ball, I think, and the fact that there was no Hazelwood and Cummins, and still they picked up wickets. They still didn't let England cross the 300 mark with the bat. It's remarkable, because Mitchell Stark, I have to give him a lot of praise. He's led this attack well. He's got his criticism. It was due last year, but I think now he's a bit more fresh, and he showed in the T20 World Cup. He's shown here as well. He's a natural wicket taker. I think he led the attack really well. Unfortunate to not get Butler's wicket today. I think he could have got him at slip, but it wasn't to be. But apart from that, he's picked up around 6 wickets in this Test match, and he's guided the likes of Jai Richardson and Michael Neser. He's guided them and really worked together as a team. And it was an experienced lineup apart from striker line. So to pick up these wickets, 20 wickets with this kind of attack, credit to them, and it shows the depth that Australia have in their bowling attack, and credit to them for that. I think it was outstanding. Steve Smith, I felt he captained really well, got a 90 as well. Labuschagne was excellent. He scored 100 in the first innings, 50 in the second. Man of the match, deservedly so. But I just feel England have to look at that and say, like, he gave them chances. He gave them chances and they didn't take it. And in the first innings, if he could have got out for 20, he could have got out for 70, for 90, but they didn't take the chances. So Labuschagne will give you chances. You have to take them, otherwise he'll punish you. I think Smith got the bowlers right, fielders right as well. Batting order was fine as well. So a very good comeback for Steve Smith as captain, and he's shown that he's an experienced leader, and he's learned from his mistakes and continues to. It's a more mature side to him now, and I'm sure he'll continue to do well for Australia in that sense. But yeah, overall, brilliant for Australia. For England, you can talk about the bowling as well. The likes of Anderson and Broad, not really stepping up that like we expected. The likes of Neser and Jai Richardson have outshined them, which is a big problem for England. This is their best bowlers in these conditions. Yes, I know they're older, but they still have that skill, and they just couldn't utilize it. I felt the pink ball Test match, no matter what, I think England would have given a better chance, would have given a better fight, and would actually had a better chance of winning this Test match with the personnel missing in the Australian team. But it wasn't to be, and England will have to come back strong. The bowlers, I think Mark Wood, they missed him a bit. They need that kind of pace. With Robinson, Broad, and Anderson, it's a bit one pace the attack. You need some extra pace there. Jai Richardson brought that for Australia. Mitchell Stark brings it as well. Then you have the line and length of Neser or Cummins and Hazelwood. So I think England need to look along those lines. I think Jofra Archer not being there is a big loss for them as well. With his pace and bounce, it would have really helped England's case in this Test match, in this Test series overall. But they will have to look to that. bowling attack, change it up a bit. I think bring in Mark Wood. And with the bat as well, Rory Burns has just started working. Hasib Hamid, we saw some good glimpses in the first test, but he couldn't repeat it in the second test match. So the opening pair need to really step up. We've seen India do it against Australia. In Australia, you have to take that shine off that new ball, and then it allows your stroke makers to come and score the runs. We all talk about that Rishabh Pant innings at the Gabba, but it was Pujara who wore off that ball. He took body blows. He did everything possible to delay Australia taking his wicket and getting into that middle order. And that allowed Pant and Rahane, when they came in to counter-attack, score those runs. So that's how you go. You have stroke makers in your team. It's not England don't. They do. But you need the top order to try to take that shine off and then go with that. You see Australia, the likes of Warner, he likes to score runs, but he also was taking the shine off. I think in the first hour of the test match, he only had one run. Even Labuschagne, he takes his time. So that's the key, I think, taking the new ball, seeing it off, and then scoring runs with the older ball, and picking out the gaps and everything like that. So I think that's something that England need to improve and look to work on going into the third test match. It looks uphill task right now for England. It's going to be very difficult getting back into this test series, but they'll have to take it day by day. The Boxing Day test is on the 26th, and they'll have to get off to a good start over there. And if they win that test match, they're back in the series. So that's what they have to look at. They have to think positive, make a few changes, especially in the bowling side. Maybe in the batting, make a change so I get a fresh face in. Nobody has been performing consistently with the bat, and that's been a concern. And hopefully they come back. Otherwise, this is going to be a very, very long tour for them. But up until then, we'll get to the latest content. There's a lot of test matches going to start as well on Boxing Day. We have India versus South Africa on the 26th, as well as the third Ashes test. So we have plenty of cricket to look forward to. So make sure you tune in as well. And up until then, for me, the player of the game, it's between Labuschagne and probably one of the bowlers. I'd probably give it to Jai Richardson. I think just the way he stepped up, and actually not Jai Richardson, Mitchell Starc, the way he stepped up and guided the youngsters, picked up 4 wickets. He set the tone in the first innings. If England got to a 400 or 450, then they would have been in the game. But Mitchell Starc made sure that didn't happen, and picked up wickets consistently. He guided the youngsters as well, and then the youngsters showed their confidence in the second innings when they have plenty of runs on the board to defend. So, I'm going to go with Starc as my man of the match. You can give it to Labuschagne as well. He was excellent, 100 and then 50. He's been a run machine. I think one thing that Labuschagne will look to improve on is try not to give those chances that he does give. And one more thing is Marcus Harris. I think that's something that Australia will look to improve, the opening slot. Right now, Warner and Labuschagne are really consolidating really well. But I think someone like Marcus Harris has to start getting runs, and otherwise his place will be under threat, because you need an opener like England do as well, that sees off the new ball and gives your team a good start. But up until then, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll get you the latest content from the cricketing world. Thank you so much.